Okay. Today is day 347 of my carnivore / meat-based way of eating. So I know it's been a while since my last official update video. Pay no mind to that. So obviously you guys saw it says day 347, and if you are smart, I guess, then you know that there's 365 days in a year, which means that coming up in just a few days, less than 20 days at this point, I am going to be hitting my 1-year mark for going carnivore, which is kind of crazy. It's hard to believe that it's been almost a year at this point, and also kind of not. I don't know. It kind of feels like I've been carnivore for a really long time, but it also doesn't. I don't know, it just feels like the years passed by super quickly. Summer is here, school's officially out. We got out about officially like a week ago. Got everything done, took all my, standardized tests, all my finals, ACT, AP Physics. What's annoying about the AP Physics is that I'm not gonna know my score until the beginning of July, which is kind of dumb. I mean, I guess they have to grade everyone's tests, and that's when everyone's AP scores are coming out, but I don't know. But yeah, so no longer a junior. I'm officially a senior in high school now, which is kind of scary to think about, but kind of cool at the same time, right on the cusp of being an adult. But yeah, so since summer's out, I'm able to, since school's out, my mornings are pretty much free, and so I'm able to go to the gym with my mom. So I'm still going to CrossFit, still lifting weights, and having a lot of fun with that. I feel like every single time I go, I'm just falling deeper and deeper in love with CrossFit. I mean, they're not very big, but I'm getting pretty toned at this point. So just kind of showing off my muscles, Yeah, and then I got a job. Let's just say I don't like working. I haven't.
You don't like working for other people.
Yeah, I don't like working for other people. I mean, my whole adolescence, I've been kind of self-employed and making money my own way. So I think I'm gonna try to stick it out for maybe a few more weeks and see how it goes. But anyways, still meat-based, as you guys probably expect. One thing that has changed, I mean, in my last update video, which was like 200 days ago, I said that I wanted to start experimenting, and that's been kind of hard for me just because getting out of my comfort zone is a little hard. I have been adding in more nuts recently, a lot more nuts, honestly. I've been eating a ton of walnuts and pecans, because weirdly enough, those are the only kinds of nuts I can eat. I've mentioned that before. But I've been eating a lot more walnuts and pecans, and I have been adding a little bit of fruit, like berries here and there. And so far, my body's been tolerating it pretty well when I've eaten it. One thing is that I think when I do eat too many nuts, my body does have a little bit of trouble handling all the fiber, but that's only when I've eaten a ton of nuts. But yeah, I'm really grateful that my body's able to tolerate that sort of thing, just because I know other people, and I've mentioned this before, other people when they're on carnivore, they're on it because they can't tolerate other sorts of things. So I'm just really glad that I'm able to tolerate the nuts and the fruit and everything. And I'm so excited because since summer's here, that means that more fruits are gonna start coming into season. With the summer and with the fall, you get a lot more fruits and vegetables, like corn. I'm a huge fan of corn. Apricots, peaches, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully when that stuff comes into season and it's locally harvested around here, we'll get some of those, and then we can enjoy some of those. My mom and I were actually we've been working on our garden for the past few weeks. So we've planted some beets, we've planted some onions, carrots, peppers, herbs, and we're doing cabbage so that we can do our homemade sauerkraut with our homegrown cabbage later on, which I'm super excited about. And so hopefully I can chronicle some of that for you guys as well. I'll probably actually get some pictures of the garden right now, and then we can get some footage of it as it grows. So throughout the summer I can keep updating you guys, and you guys can kind of come along with us as we garden. But yeah, going along with that, I mentioned the sauerkraut. I've actually started making my own milk kefir. which I'm excited about. We got the starter grains from a local store around here, and then I started making my own kefir, and I've only done a couple of batches so far, but so far it's been really good. Kefir, I'll probably make another video about kefir, but it's similar to yogurt if you didn't know, and it's another fermented food. It has live cultures in it, and so I've been doing that for a couple of weeks now, and it's tasted, like, I've tried it, it's pretty good, honestly. And one thing that I have done with my kefir, well, the reason I started making it is because I wanted to make cottage cheese, because I'm a big fan of cottage cheese, and it turns out you can make it probiotic. Like, there are ways that you can make it where you just take milk and acid, and then that gets the curds in the way to separate, but you can make it probiotic by using kefir. And so I started making kefir because I wanted to make cottage cheese, and so now I've made a couple of batches of cottage cheese, and they've turned out like really good, and I just feel like it's so much more satisfying to eat because it's something that I've made myself, and it's just delicious as well. I mean, the curds aren't as big as, like, you know, store-bought cottage cheese, but I don't mind. But I'm gonna probably gonna make another video about my kefir and my cottage cheese as well. So summer's finally here. Hopefully being out of school means maybe I have a little bit more free time. I don't know, we'll see with the job. One thing I love about summer is the sun and the warmth, and if you know me, I'm like a lizard. I just love like laying out outside, like on the hot concrete or like on the ground. So me and my mom, we've been laying out in the sun, you know, getting tan, getting our vitamin D and stuff, because that's very important, is getting your vitamin D. Anyway, we've been going on a lot of walks. That's been super nice, like in the evenings. We love getting out on our walks, and walking is actually like really good for your metabolic health. I mean, ask pretty much any health expert and they'd say that walking is probably one of the best, most simple things that you can do for your health. I mean, ask Kelly Hogan, she loves walking. Now that I've kind of gotten all of that fun stuff aside, I kind of wanted to get a little bit, you know, deeper and into the nitty-gritty of what's been going on in my head in terms of my eating disorder, because I mean, that's something that's still a part of my life, and I just want to talk about a little bit some things that I've been struggling with recently. The past few months, honestly, I feel like I've been struggling with some more guilt around the way I've been eating, and also just the scarcity mindset. I don't know if I've really explained the scarcity mindset too much on here before, and I should probably do a video about this as well. But so I guess the scarcity mindset having to do with my eating disorder is, with me having anorexia and with my history of restricting, I've kind of trained myself to think in a scarcity mindset where I get worried about, I guess, having enough food or making the food that I allow myself to eat worth it, I guess. I get really, really caught up in that, and that's something that I've struggled with a lot for, I'd say, at least the past 2 or 3 years. I get really caught up in making sure that the calories I eat count, and making sure that I savor the food and that the experience is worth it, because I've trained myself to not allow myself to eat as much as, like, allow myself to eat in the same way that a normal person would, because a normal person or a person without an eating disorder would probably allow themselves to eat whenever they feel hungry. But with me and my restrictions, sometimes I don't always let myself eat when I'm hungry, and so that just kind of messes with my head, right? And please let me know if this makes sense, or if you guys would like me to explain it a little bit better. I've been struggling with, like, I guess, compulsions to restrict and to quote-unquote like save my calories. I don't know, it's just like I try to make there's just, man, this is hard to explain, because there's like, I think of one thing and then it ties to another thing with my eating disorder. I feel like my eating disorder is kind of like this big knot that's like in my head, and it connects to like a bunch of different things. So I feel like if I explain one thing, then I have to explain another aspect. But if I did that, then the video would be like 2 hours long. But anyway, I really want to make the meal worth it, and so if I can eat a really big meal, then that's something that I want to do. But then also, when I save my calories, until the end of the day, I get really, really hungry. And so then when I finally do let myself eat, I'm ravenous. And so I end up eating a lot of food because I haven't eaten very much throughout the day. And then that ends up with my stomach feeling like super full, and I feel guilty and I feel mad at myself because I don't really like feeling like the super full stomach feeling. Like that just makes me uncomfortable. But then when I do that, I get mad at myself. So the obvious solution to that problem is to just eat more throughout the day, right? But I just have a hard time dealing with that because, again, my eating disorder gets caught up in like, oh, but what if you eat too much throughout the day because you're eating in the morning and then you're eating in the afternoon and then you're eating even more in the evening. And so what if you end up eating like more overall, end up gaining like more weight and more fat? And so usually the eating disorder ends up winning, and I end up kind of restricting all day and then eating a ton at the evening. And that's just something that's been really frustrating. But yeah, like I said, the obvious solution is just to eat more throughout the day, but then I get guilty about eating more throughout the day, but then I also get guilty about eating a ton at the end of the day. So it's like either way I feel guilty. And so I guess the main thing is just learning to live through that discomfort. And I know some of you watch my videos and you see me and I like the way I present myself on YouTube, and you think, and maybe some of you think that like at this point I am recovered or that I'm doing a lot better. And maybe some of you don't think that, maybe some of you do. But I want to make it clear that honestly I'm not there yet. I'm not recovered. I think a part of me when I found carnivore and I started it kind of thought it would be like the magic key to unlock the door to recovery for myself. And at the beginning it kind of was, but it's easy to let your old habits creep back in, and I think that's something that I'm struggling with right now. So I just wanted to make it clear that I'm by no means fully recovered yet, but I do recognize how far I've come though. Looking back in the past year, and this is coming full circle, right? Because it's almost been a year since going carnivore, and I think about everything that's happened in the past year and all the progress that I've made, because it's easy to take a look at where you are right in the moment and see how much further you have to go and be discouraged by that and think like, oh, I really haven't done much. But then when you like turn around and look at what you have done, it helps to see how far you've come. Because I mean, in my situation, last year, almost exactly a year ago, I was super skinny and I was terrified of calories and I was terrified of red meat and fat. And even before then, like a couple years back when I first got back from the hospital, I was even worse before then. And so while I'm not fully there yet at recovery, whatever that means, I'm still a lot further than I was last year. And I think at this point, that's all that matters. Well, that's not all that matters, but that's enough to help me keep going, because it can be really discouraging just still struggling with these eating disorder thoughts a year later. But I know that one day, if I just keep on going, and if I just stay on the path, then one day I will achieve it. And the progress may seem slow, but it's still happening nonetheless. So I'm still hopeful, I think. Anyway, that is just my little update for you guys. Hopefully, with summer being here and all the summer projects that we have, I'll be able to make some more videos and show you guys, I mean, with the garden and with my cottage cheese and all the other ferments that we do. Hopefully I can make some more videos about that. Also, I've got some more carnivore recipes that like we've been trying out recently and that I want to make videos about because they've been like crazy good. We did some carnivore enchiladas the other day and they were freaking delicious. So I want to make a video about that. But yeah, that's it for today. Please make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for more updates and more carnivore and like I guess, homesteading content, because we're kind of becoming a homestead, right? An urban homestead, our urban homestead. And I'll talk to you guys later. In the meantime, go eat some meat. Bye.